They are the movers and the shakers, the dreamers and the doers. Teachers, athletes, musicians, activists, entrepreneurs. They are the men and women that have made and continue to make Huntington Beach such a special place. I'm Chris Epting, and these are the legendary locals. Juana Mueller didn't grow up here, but she's certainly a legendary local. She's lived in Huntington Beach for about 30 years, and in that time, she's donated countless hours to helping protect and preserve the natural environment. A founding board member at the Shipley Nature Center, this teacher and artist still manages to make a difference every day in the city. I met with Juana recently up at the Urban Forest. I hope you enjoy our conversation. So Juana, first, before we get into your story, your personal arc, where we're sitting right now here at the Urban Forest, a lot of people in Huntington Beach don't know this place even exists, right?
Right.
Tell me
Yes.
the story. It's about 20 years or so ago, right? Things
Yes,
really,
yes.
where we're sitting now, we wouldn't have been surrounded by trees. How does this happen up here? These beautiful trails. I don't know how many species of trees there are. Maybe you do. There's a lot. How did it happen up here? What's the story behind where we're sitting?
Well, that's kind of interesting because, as I know it, two councilmen, Ralph Bauer and Tom Harmon, for some reason, thought they should have an urban forest. And I came up here, I had just moved and somehow heard about the dedication and came up here to the dedication of it. There was nothing here. And the stone over there has Jean Nagy's name on it. I had no idea who she was or anything like that.
And Jean, of course, when it comes to trees in Huntington Beach, she really is sort of the mother of many of them, right?
Absolutely. And I think what they did is ask her if she'd take this over. And so it's been Jean's for decades. And so she says she put all the trees in. The one tree that was there by the dedication stone was a beautiful, beautiful little oak, coastal oak.
It's still there.
Somebody chopped it down.
Oh, I didn't know that. So it's not there anymore?
No.
Nothing, not the stump or anything.
Nothing. It was a young tree and it was gorgeous. And you know,
Wow.
that happens.
Juana, going back for your story, I mean, what you've brought to Huntington Beach in terms of preservation, sensitivity to nature and the environment, it starts when you're a little girl. You were telling me earlier that it starts at Yosemite Valley, right? For you, that's sort of your awakening as a child.
Yes, absolutely. In thinking about this, Chris, you do think about the arc of your life, and it took me right back there for nature because I was very young.
This is in the 1930s you're up there, right?
Yeah, I went with my grandmother who was chaperoning my three aunts, young aunts, gorgeous creatures, my mother's three sisters, and they were entertainers at Yosemite. They used to sing Spanish folk songs in costume because that family had originally come from Mexico, so they knew Spanish perfectly, and they knew English perfectly without even an accent, either language. And they were gorgeous. They were kind of the darlings of the Yosemite Valley at the time.
You've got these photographs that are incredible, and Ansel Adams took some of those photographs?
He took those photographs. Now, they're not signed or anything, but he was a photographer around, and at that time, it's really early, in the 30s, and he photographed them, probably for, well, I don't know. Anyway, they're in the family, and so it shows how beautiful they were. And they used to sing at the Ahwahnee, then at the lodge, and they'd end up at Camp Curry every night for the firefall.
For those who don't know what the firefall was, can you describe it?
The firefall was literally a firefall that fell from Glacier Point, 3,000 feet down behind Camp Curry. It was spectacular, and every single night it happened at 9 o'clock.
And they would literally, the process, they would take like coals, right?
Yes.
Hot coals.
It would
and
burn
flaming.
all day, and it would get just perfect, and at this precise moment they'd have this call from up at Glacier Point down to Camp Curry and Camp Curry up to Glacier. that the firefall is ready to go.
And they would release it.
And they would push it over.
It's become mythical that you saw it as often as you did as a child. It obviously inspired you. You arrived in Huntington Beach about 1990 or so?
1991, we moved to Huntington Beach. Yeah.
And how do you first get involved? Because again, whether it's Shipley Nature Center, the Bolsa Chica wetlands, where we're sitting today, Central Park, you've really made a very important mark in all these places. How do you first get involved, and what are you trying to accomplish when you arrive in Huntington Beach and see what the possibilities could be?
Well, my husband and I came on a volunteer assignment, really, and moved to Long Beach temporarily. And after 6 years, we never went back. We moved to Southern California in '91 to Huntington Beach. And in the interim between that, I was doing work here in Huntington Beach with some of the people who lived here in a volunteer situation, and that was called Beyond War. And so I used to travel from Long Beach to Huntington Beach to my friend's house, and I would pass the Bolsa Chica wetlands every time, and I'd come to the corner of Warner and PCH, and I would just, every time, because it opened up on the left and the ocean opened up on the right, and it was just...
It's spectacular.
Yeah, and it did something to your soul. It was open space. So, my friend one day took me walking on the mesa out there, just go for a walk. She gets me into the middle of it and she says, "Juana, did you know they want to build here?" And it didn't make any sense to me because I assumed this was just always open and going to be always open. And it was such an iconic spot. And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She said, "They want to build houses here." I said, "Well, where?" "Right where you're standing." And then came the call. "Do you think we should save it?" says she. And of course, there you go.
That was your calling. That's really...
That was the call. And Flossie Horgan used to run out there all the time. It wasn't fenced at the time. And so she was embedded out there. And so she and Jan Vandersloot from Newport Beach started the Bolsa Chica Land Trust, and I was a founding board member. And so, that was another education. Go before council, go before the Coastal Commission, go before the county.
None of this is easy. You know, you and I were talking earlier, and I think people take things for granted sometimes, whether it's the urban forest or the wetlands. These things don't happen by accident, right? That's kind of an ongoing theme. Were it not for the efforts of yourself and people you're describing, that's what really makes a difference. And you can never let up, right? Because you can never let your guard down.
Never.
Because they're always waiting to come back in, right? And
always. So that was an amazing journey. Then another call came to me. This call was through Jean Nagy. She had no idea, but she came once to a meeting of the Bolsa Chica Land Trust because Shipley Nature Center was in dire straits. I didn't even know it existed. And she handed out these flyers, and so there were about 5 of us that went to the meeting at the library, Central Library, and learned about Shipley. So then we went over to Shipley and began meeting about and hearing about the dire straits of Shipley. It was going to maybe be bulldozed if citizenry didn't come up and see if they could save it. Well, once again, of course you're going to save this place. It was a wreck. A total wreck.
And you got very involved.
Very involved.
Dedicated countless volunteer hours,
right?
It was
a job.
Save the place.
A job. It was like, because...
Full time.
It was full time because at first I was kind of backing out a little bit. I thought, no, I don't need to go on any board or president or anything like that. But it had a hard time getting started, because we had to do a 501c3, and you had to have the right president and the gal who stepped forward, didn't know how to do it, and then Jean Nagy again got Stephanie Pacheco. By golly, she got that up out of the mud and running, and she got a board, and she got us all going, and burned out after 9 months. And they asked me to be president. Oh, no, 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 no. I said, no, 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 no. And they kept after me, so I became the second president for 2 years. And while I was there, I decided I would love to be the habitat manager. And that was a full-time job. And I was there about every day.
And Shipley today, it really is one of the gems in the community.
It is.
And another place that a lot of people may be unfamiliar with. And it's, again, because of your efforts, it thrives today. It's a remarkable place. It's beautifully landscaped. It's a true escape within a growing city. You really can kind of lose yourself in there.
Exactly. Wonderful education for nature and kids.
Across the street at Central Park, you get involved again. There's been a remarkable volunteer effort with Steve and Sherry Angle.
Yes.
Who put in countless hours. And you're a big part of their story as well. I mean, the Secret Garden, where they have put a lot of their time, you named that supposedly, right? Was that your moniker for the garden?
Well, yes. It had no name. It was a xeriscape garden, an experimental thing with the city, and xeriscape seemed
a little cold.
A little cold, like people couldn't get onto it, and so it was a secret garden. It just was a secret garden, the way it evolved and everything. And there's a book named The Secret Garden, which is a link to the library. And this being right behind the library was perfect. And so it stuck, and when the little kids would come in, we'd say to them, "Do you know where you are? This is the secret garden."
Yeah, who doesn't love a secret, right?
And exactly. And so the parent would say, "Oh, well, they already call it the Enchanted Forest," or "They already call it the Secret Garden." So we knew we had a good name. And so we just began calling it the Secret Garden. And I think that's a perfect name for it.
And again, there's a statue of a woman who's gardening out by the Armstrong Garden Center on Golden West there. It looks a lot like you. And there's some people that think it's almost modeled based on you down there on the ground, hands getting dirty, planting, replanting. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll accept it.
Got your hat on and everything.
Because my hat, they all know me by my hat. And yep, down in the dirt, for sure.
Juana, when you sit here today and think about the arc of your life, what do you think that the next generation can learn about your efforts, other people's efforts, that have helped to protect and preserve the natural environment in Huntington Beach?
Well, first of all, to be aware of it, because if you're just going through life and aren't aware of your natural surroundings, you're going to lose it. And so then to be aware of these calls, when you are called to help keep this beautiful earth going. And in this COVID time, we know how people are drawn. It's a solace. It feeds your soul. And we need these places. And so this wonderful volunteerism that people can get involved in to make their city wonderful and better.
I mean, none of these places would be the way they are were it not for thousands of hours by people like yourself giving of their time.
And the volunteers love it. They come because they love it. And that energy, I swear, goes into it. And people pick it up subliminally, I'm sure. The trees respond, the flowers respond, I swear.
You know, you obviously, you have an innate love of nature and the environment, but it seems like those trips to Yosemite really helped ignite the fire in you, right?
I think it laid down in my soul that iconic spiritual beauty that place embodies.
Well, we're lucky that you arrived here. We're very thankful and very fortunate that you've put so many decades into, just the effort and the passion and enthusiasm that you've brought to it. You are absolutely a local after, 30 years being here. You are certainly legendary, and it's been a real pleasure hearing part of your story today. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you for that, Chris.